Tensions are dangerously rising between India and Pakistan after a deadly terror attack in Kashmir's Pahalgam Valley that killed 26 people on April the 22nd. In a major move, India has suspended the Indus Waters Treaty and is now expanding dam capacity in Jammu and Kashmir, halting the Chenab river flow. This marks a significant escalation in New Delhi's response. The move comes amid growing regional fallout. Pakistan has launched 2 missile tests in just 2 days, claiming they're part of operational readiness drills. India is ramping up its civil defence preparedness. The Union Home Ministry has directed several states to conduct mock drills on May the 7th following the deadly Pahalgam terror attack. The drills will include air raid sirens, blackout protocols, evacuation rehearsals and camouflage for key installations. Civilians and students will also be trained on survival strategies in the event of a hostile strike. Diplomatically, Pakistan is seeking Russia's mediation, but in a major development, Russian President Vladimir Putin has called Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, condemning the attack and offering full support to India's fight against terrorism. The Kremlin says the perpetrators must be brought to justice. Both leaders also discussed strengthening their strategic partnership, and Putin has been invited to India for the upcoming annual summit. In another regional move, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has landed in Islamabad ahead of a visit to New Delhi. Tehran has offered to help to diffuse tensions between the two rivals. Amid the escalating crisis, the United Nations Security Council is holding an emergency session later to address the growing threat to regional peace. On the economic front, Moody's has warned that sustained tensions could further weaken Pakistan's fragile economy and hurt its growth and foreign reserves. Well, joining us to discuss these latest developments is Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev, who is a former diplomat. Ambassador Sachdev, thank you ever so much for joining us. Let's first briefly look at this phone call and conversation between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Putin saying that he fully supports India in their fight against terrorism. How significant is this show of support from a leading European nation?
I think it is quite significant. The two countries have each other's strategic allies status, and there is a special relationship between India and Russia dating back to era of the Soviet Union. I should also add here that Russia is a reliable weapons supplier to India, and any less than wholesome assurance of its support to India at this critical hour would have long-term ramifications for this relationship. So I believe this is highly significant. It also makes a lot of sense in the light of Pakistani ambassador to Moscow's ill-tempered statements about using nuclear weapons if push comes to shove vis-a-vis Pakistan-India conflict. Thank you.
Yes, Ambassador Sachdev. I want to now look at the drills that have been announced for some Indian states. These will be taking place on May the 7th. The last time there were drills like this was in 1971. What's the significance of the Indian government pushing forward these drills for civilian preparedness in the case of an attack from Pakistan?
I think this is prudence being manifested as the Pakistanis have wrapped their saber-rattling and also invoking jihadi spirits and so on and so forth. So it's only prudent that India does not let its guard down. And as the Pakistani terrorists have not shown any discriminatory instincts between civilians and military targets. It's also wise for our citizenry to be made aware of the dangers that any potential conflict may pose.
Yes, Ambassador Sachdev. I want to also look now at the strikes and the strike drills that have been taking place in Pakistan. The second practice drills for surface-to-surface missiles in 2 days. Looking at the escalation that we're seeing and the escalation intentions, that is, how critical is it that preparedness is at the top of the priority list for Indians?
It is. It is a balance between being fully prepared and not to be jingoistic or alarmistic and taking tit for tat action to everything that Pakistan does. I think there is a bout of coercive diplomacy that India has exercised through abeyance of Indus Waters Treaty, through various other measures restricting Pakistani access and to Indian ports and the airspace and rest of it. And these measures are designed to persuade Pakistan to see the reason and to alter its behavior in a manner that has not yet been witnessed. Now, I think that the path to de-escalation would lie with Pakistan agreeing to hand over people and hand over those who have either perpetrated the incidents of terror in India or have been sitting in their safe houses in Pakistan abetting such jihadis and motivated anti-Indian personnel. I think there is still possible to walk away from this confrontation, but it'll be for Pakistan to decide whether it wants to have a break from its past. In 1999, at the height of the Kargil confrontation, the Pakistani Prime Minister rushed to Washington and sought United States President's intervention, which successfully diffused the crisis between India and Pakistan, but created a new crisis within Pakistan.
Ambassador Sachdev, I'm really sorry to have to cut you off, but I do want to ask one final question before we run out of time on what you're saying there. Of course, the global community has condemned the terror attack in Pahalgam on the 22nd of April, but has also spoken about de-escalation, and we have this UN Security Council meeting taking place later today. What's the significance of global influence in these tensions, and how might that lead to de-escalation?
I think the meeting that you're talking about is not the formal meeting of the Security Council. It's a closed-door consultation among its members. Significant here is the fact that Pakistan is a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, while India is absent from the deliberations. But I think in that connection, the call by President Putin to Prime Minister Modi would be of high significance, as Russia is a veto-yielding permanent member of the UN Security Council. So I imagine there would be some words exchanged at during the fourth call about what India's expectations from Russia would be at the Security Council's informal closed-door meeting later today that you referred to.
Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev, thank you ever so much for joining us. Of course, as the tensions continue to rise and diplomatic conversations take place, we can't forget that this